Welcome to Phoenix Protocol. I am so glad you're here. I want to talk about this whole being impacted by inefficient code and what does that really mean? Because obviously coding the universe is simple because we use code terms, but life doesn't always seem so simple, and that can be frustrating. So I don't want to leave you hanging. One of the ways that inefficient code is going to basically latch onto your system, and by the way, it's so simple. If you are having pure intention and you are using your gifts and talents every day, that means you're a good program because you're being allocated energy from the universal operating system, codenamed God, and it's being directed to your unique operating system, codename your name. And that is why if you have not said your name and God, you need to do that right now because you're not authenticating within the universal operating system and they're not pinging your location and attributing the fact that you have been using your gifts and talents and you deserve credit for that. And if someone around you is not giving you credit, not saying your name ever, then I can pretty much guarantee you that they are being hijacked by inefficient code and they're actually utilizing taking credit for your work so that they can have extra energy allocation. And ultimately, you are the one that is using your energy efficiently, and you should be given more energy from the universal operating system because you've already shown trust and validation. You just haven't authenticated within the system, which is why there's a miscommunication happening. It's very simple, and recently I've been noticing there are people around me that are such good people. They haven't even hurt a fly, okay? Literally. And they are so nice, and they work really hard, and for some reason, they're not getting allocated the resources that they need just to simply get by. The bare minimum. That's because they have not authenticated within the system clearly. They need to do it clearly and simply. Okay? So simple. Your name, that is the code for your unique operating system, you as an individual, needs to click in, ping to the universal operating system, codename God, so that it can authenticate how you have been utilizing your energy resources. And if you are using your processing power in a way with pure intention and using your talents and gifts effectively, you are allotted more resources in the system because that's awesome. That means that we can expand. That means you're using energy efficiently. So I can trust you with more processing power. So you're alleviating strain on the system. Now, the system is inherently designed in so many beautiful ways. One of them being that you cannot ping to God more than the operating system can handle ever. That is why certain things have been designed, such as time. I can only mechanically say or think God to ping to the system so many times because there is time, right? Meaning that has been inherently designed so that I could never overload the system by pinging. However, we are left to our own defenses sometimes. And the good news is you can handle it because all you have to do is start basically weeding out your mind. Where are these thought loopers? Where are these things that are taking you out of the present moment? Anytime those things happen, you need to ping the universal operating system and say, hello, I have found an inefficient use of code. It is taking me out of the present moment. It is unaligning me from my destiny and purpose. And it's actually slowing down my utilization of my gifts and talents, which I'm actually trying to do right now. So it's a little frustrating. Can you please help me? I think that it's inefficient code. I would like to ping to God, codename God. Can you please check this and see if it's inefficient code? If so, can you please reboot it because it's in my space and I've identified it for the system and I'm actually alleviating even more energy. So why not give me even more energy now? Because not only am I living and working towards my purpose and destiny, which is my function here, but I've noticed an inefficient use of code and I just called in God, the universal operating system, so that this code can be rebooted and recoded and reinstalled. Simple as that. I don't need to judge it. That's why they say you don't need to judge anything. God does that. Because God will look at the code and determine if it's inefficient code, meaning it's an energy drainer, or if it's efficient code. Angels are the most efficient coders. That's all they are, so they get the most energy allocation by the system. That is all an angel is. People have a lot of fun puns that they do with angels, like, oh, they're the angles. They can see all the angles. Well, they have a lot of energy allocation and processing power from the system, so that would actually make sense, right? So angels are the most efficient coders in the universe. That is what an angel is. So, again, if you start to ping to God, codename God, that is the name of our universe. It is the simplest code that you're going to find. We have all used other synonyms, but they require more definition. They're not a code name. A code name is something very unique, and it has a specific purpose, right? Just like you. And so when we use the codename God and it pings to our location, and again, you cannot ping more than the system can ever handle. So don't worry about praying for a long time. It's a good thing, because that means that you are showing inefficient codes and clearing those out and getting those rebooted so that we can run more efficiently. And that means that the Renaissance is going to happen, right? Because the Renaissance is everyone having these beautiful thoughts and things happening that are gorgeous, and art and creative and all of these things. And if we have a mental looper that's going on and on and on about, oh my gosh, I look terrible in this dress. Why did I buy this dress? Everyone's going to think I look terrible in this dress. Well, then that's not efficient use of anyone's energy. And the thing with these mental thought loopers is they are energy drainers. They're going to take your energy, and they are going to take you out of alignment with your purpose and destiny. Because trust me, if you got a dress and you are worried that much about it, that is not normal. That is a mental thought looper taking advantage of your operating power. And it's actually secretly sneaking around, going from one mind to the next, draining people's power, and it needs to really stop sneaking around and just go back to the ultimate operating system. We are done with that inefficient use of code. We are done with it. We are so done with it. And if we all are taking it upon ourselves to be efficient coders, we can all upgrade the system together and get rid of these thought loopers and all of these inefficient uses of code that when you don't regulate them and you don't send them back to God, the universal operating system, just to be rebooted and reinstalled with efficient coding, because these problems actually have been solved, believe it or not. It's just that that specific version of it hasn't been upgraded. It's an old, outdated version. Imagine you have a computer from 10 years ago and you're trying to run a new program on it that was made this year. There will be a lot of interference. There will be a lot of miscommunications because a lot of things have changed with operating systems and bugs have been recoded and addressed, right? So there are literally outdated versions of things, and one of them is these thought loopers, which have been reprogrammed and debugged. Because there is actually a positive use for loopers, that's why we have them, but these negative, inefficient uses of a looper has already been debunked and fixed. All you need to do is say, God, hello, hi, codename me, my name. I just noticed that one of these outdated versions of a thought looper is literally taking up space in my mind, and I'm just sending it back. No big deal. Thank you so much. Back to my purpose and destiny. Send me some more resource allocation. So stoked. Right? And if you don't authenticate with the system, and if you don't help with those things, we're all running on an older version. We're all dealing with this issue. And it just takes an efficient coder to be open to notifying the universal operating system of this. And it's not really a big deal. We'll figure it out no matter what. It's just, if you'd like to help, that would be amazing. So now you know how. It's not a big deal. It's easy, very easy, and it's fun. And literally, if you are not able to function and do your destiny and purpose, and if you don't know what your destiny and purpose is, that means you're going to be trying new things and learning new things and taking new opportunities and expanding your skills and abilities, okay? Until you figure out and you click into, wow, this feels right. This is my destiny and purpose. This is it, okay? So if you're not able to do that presently and there are thought loopers going wild in your brain, that's because you actually have an amazing opportunity to help. And all you have to do is say, codename God, hello, operating system that manages all of the energy use here. I have found some inefficient uses of energy, just sending those back because we're all having version upgrades. And these obviously have been debugged because guess what? I'm a musician. I use loopers for good. That is how a melody and a hook in music is created, right? You love these hooks. They get stuck in your head and they're really fun and engaging. And that's a positive use of a looper. So they have been upgraded. There are new versions of these things for positive uses. You could say like an affirmation that, you know, you're going to get your dream job. It's right around the corner. As long as you utilize the energy that's coming to your unique operating system and it's in alignment with your purpose and destiny and you're living it in pure intention, of course you're going to get that anyways, but go ahead and have your positive affirmation if that makes you psyched and work harder. Go ahead. That's a positive use of a looper. Okay? You will start to notice when you get very, very good at using your energy, you will start to immediately notice when there is a drain on your energy. And that's why they say, you know, go in the forest with God, because if you're alone with literally the universal operating system and you're a unique operating system yourself, and you guys are, you know, having these exchanges of energy allocation, which is normal when you're in a system, you get a certain amount of energy to run a program. And if it's inefficient, bloated, there's all of these old bugs in it, then, right, the coder, the person who created this is like, oh man, let me fix that, New version, awesome, yay, running more effectively, this is so exciting. So it's frustrating for everyone because we are loving each other. This is love. And if you don't authenticate with the system, because of the way that processing power is shared, you are not prioritized and you have not authenticated. And so these outdated versions of inefficient code are just finding places to hide, and we're literally looking for them. I have a joke with some of my friends about, you know, like, could you imagine trying to hide me? And then, could you imagine trying to find me? And it's an energy joke because it's impossible to hide somebody that's constantly pinging to God and they have this efficient use of energy. And it's sometimes in the cloaking analogy, right? When all of these outdated, inefficient codes are latching onto you because you have so much energy and you haven't pinged to God, universal operating system, to say, hey, I really need you to clear these out. Gosh, all these energy drainers, they found me. Hi, have you not been able to find me because I'm just cloaked by this huge invisibility cloak of energy drainers? So yeah, the joke is, you know, could you imagine trying to hide me, and how many inefficient coding levels and layers there would have to be to hide an efficient coder like myself? And could you imagine trying to find me? And so it's funny because if you are using your code efficiently, you have so much energy available to you because you're living your purpose and destiny, and that's exciting. And everyone can do this. That's not a unique thing. You can access energy from the system, no problem. You just have to be utilizing your gifts and talents, and you have to be living your divine purpose, right? And that's how you figure it out, by using that energy properly and efficiently, and it starts to come online and you start to be walking that path. And that's why people say, whoa, like this just happened suddenly. It's so amazing. But yeah, the joke is, you know, could you imagine trying to hide me? Because how many would you have to throw on me? I mean, a lot, right? And then could you imagine having to find me? because it must be like, where is she? And it must be a fun game of hide and go seek. But let that analogy stand for you to be inspiration of, you don't want to be in a situation where you're playing hide and go seek with literally your energy for your divine purpose. Do you want to play hide and go seek with the energy for your divine purpose? Do you feel like you're playing hide and go seek? Do you feel like you're looking around, wondering where I'm working so hard? What's going on? Do you feel like you are playing hide and go seek with your energy allocation for your purpose and destiny? If so, let me tell you something. It will end immediately. It is the simplest solution in the planet Earth. And it was so simple. And it was designed so simply because it isn't supposed to be this way. We've all been so confused by stories and narrative and creating so many layers, okay? That literally people are just not pinging and getting rid of inefficient code. That's all it is. It's so simple. It is so simple. Congratulations! There's no more hide and seek necessary. The game is over. All you have to do is use code name God and your code name, which is your name, for your unique operating system. You've been found by the universal operating system. And guess what? You've been validated as having a pure intention, as using the energy that's been allocated to you efficiently through doing your gifts and talents and helping the world and not hurting anyone. Congratulations! The system's been looking for you. We're sick of playing hide and go seek. Where have you been? No one's playing hide and go seek anymore. Seriously, it's hide and go seek on the highest level, and it's not fun. I want to play like the real hide and go seek, not how and why are you struggling so much. I want you to have fun. So please, 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 ping the operating system. If you feel like things are lagging, things are slow, what is going on? You've been asking and asking and asking. Okay, then you need to ping to the universal operating system using codename God. When did God become this crazy, what? It's a code name for the universe. It was invented specifically so that you could call to it and it doesn't have to constantly like helicopter parent you. Okay? And it's been specifically designed with time so that you could never, ever, ever call out God more times than it would actually be able to handle. But it does have a priority system where it's, it has to load the code, it has to reboot, it has to do all these things. So when you call out to it, it's like, oh, here we go, inefficient coding. Okay, this person has authenticated, they are using their energy responsibly, so I can delineate more to it. Because you are supposed to run energy efficiently because you do have stewardship to the operating system. And if you're just going to drain the operating system, I mean, we've all been around people who are drainers, right? Do you think that the universal operating system is going to check that out and authenticate that and think, oh, yes, of course, you should have more of my processing power. That's a great idea. No. And that's what cloakers do, is they are bogged down by inefficient code. And then you don't take credit for anything just in your mind with the universal operating system. And so they start taking credit and they are basically cloaking themselves by communicating to the universal operating system and using their name. They're validating and taking credit, and they are getting more energy allocated because you're not taking credit. And the universal operating system is thinking, oh, okay, there is actually an efficient use of energy here. I guess it's from this one because it keeps saying it is. And now I'm allocating energy here. And now we're in a situation of hide and seek because the universal operating system is delineating this energy to this area that's right next to you. And it's improperly doing it. And it's getting very confused because it's saying, why is this energy going here? And it's just kind of evaporating. It's getting sucked into a black hole because that person hasn't learned how to use their energy efficiently because they're not clearing the bugged legacy programs that need to be recoded. And they're actually, just confused. They're really confused is what I'll say. So Don't let yourself be part of someone else's confusion. You're not confused. And don't let yourself be hidden and have to go on this hide and go seek game, because what happens is if you're associated with a cloaker, they're hiding using your positive intention, using the energy that you've put towards your gifts and talents, and they're taking credit for that. And so it's confusing the system because they are getting an energy allocation and then you're not getting it and you're feeling super, super drained. And you don't need to go toe to toe with them and say, give me credit. You authenticate and you get validation straight from the source. Okay? You don't go to that person. Come on. They're taking your energy allocation. It's designed. They have an inefficient program, like thinking that that's cool and, telling them to do it. They don't even know what's going on in their brain. They're so confused. It's not even worth talking to them about it. All you need to do is just say, codename God, hello, hi. Here's my name. I haven't talked to you in a while. I just wanted to let you know I actually wrote that phenomenal paper that you really liked about the pine trees and the acorns and all of the birds that live in them and the seeds. And I wrote that. And remember, I read it to the class and everyone smiled. That was actually me. And don't say anything about the other person, because you know what? The universal operating system is like, oh, wow, I was kind of wondering because I kept delineating more energy resources there and it wasn't being used effectively. And well, let me give you the energy, and like you've validated, you authenticated. So of course, here's the energy. And then when you get that energy boost, because you will, you need to use your gifts and talents and say, oh, yay, yay, yay. Okay, now I'm feeling better. Wow, things are popping off in my universe, like my gifts and talents are unfolding. My purpose, my destiny is unfolding because I've authenticated with the system and I'm finally getting my resources allocated to me as they're supposed to be. And I'm helping with the inefficient code and the mental bloat and upgrading to new versions, okay? You have to use that energy when it comes in. Otherwise, you will have a bottlenecking effect of, okay, so now there's a new energy coming in. This program was showing that, they're using their energy efficiently. What's going on, right? Because you might just be acting as you were before because you didn't realize this was happening. So I'm just letting you know, when you do right away ping to God, the universal operating system says, okay, they validated, they let me know, I can see the pure intention, I'm reading her code, good. Here's the resource allocation. Okay, now you're gonna take it and you gotta do your gifts and talents and you gotta live your purpose, and then you're gonna get more resource allocation. But if you continue to just do things as they were before, you'll get resource allocation. It's just not gonna be amplifying because you have to really get in alignment with how to utilize that, right? Because then you're going to get more. But if somebody is cloaking with you, that means that they're getting your resource allocation. And that's not, I don't want that for you. I don't think you want that for you. So I'm just here to tell you how simple it is to fix. And then I'm telling you, when you do get your resource allocated properly, expect, things to start coming in for you, depending on what type of situation you're in. And your intentions, and there's variables here, but at the very basic level, you should be in alignment with your destiny and purpose, and you should be acting your gifts and talents, using your energy appropriately every day, not hurting anyone, helping, and you should be back on track. And then obviously, if you notice inefficient code around you, figure it out and make sure that your code is running efficiently. So no more hide and go seek. The game is over. It's fun to play it as a game, but this is not a fun version of it, okay? Stop playing hide and go seek with your energy allocation. You deserve it. You're living your purpose, your destiny. Why are you running inefficient code? Why are you allowing inefficient code to run off of you? You're an efficient coder. That's literally what an angel is. That's why they get the most energy allocation. Get it together. Stop playing hide and go seek. Just say the word God. It's a code word. So that you can ping to the universal energy source with your name, another code word, and get your energy allocation assigned to you and no one else. And if you don't ping, there's so much confusion. And it's creating confusion. Confusion delusion is what I call it. It's confusion delusion. Okay? It's so simple, so easy. So I'm here to help. I love you very much. I'm so excited for all of us to get our energy and just have this beautiful, beautiful time. I love you very much.